All right, Leftovers at Midnight, episode 30. It's
Dirty
the fucking
30.
Dirty 30. Yee!
You
They're
gotta
30
love
years
it.
old. It's been
Now
a whole...
that is kind of crazy though. Like if you think about, even if we did put one episode a week out, which we don't and haven't,
True.
but 30 weeks is more than half a year.
The podcast is 30 years old today. We have been doing this for 30 years and have not aged a fucking day.
It's pretty incredible.
It really is.
It is.
Before we get started with anything at all on the podcast, there is a link to a GoFundMe in the description of this if you want to check it out. A friend of mine's dad got really, really injured, and they've been raising money for him for a back surgery he had. To sum it all up, he ended up getting ran over by his own truck. The whole story and everything is on the GoFundMe, I think. If you want to donate, feel free to. If not, please share it around. People don't need to get ran over by their own trucks and
dude, that shit happened. That shit was really close to happening to my dad once. Yikes. He was working on a buddy's car up on little ramps, and he was working on, I think he was doing tie rod ends on it or something that he didn't need to take the wheel off for, but he was up underneath the wheel with the wheel braced against his right shoulder.
Yeah.
And the car rolled off of the ramp. The hubcap sliced the side of his head open and ran over his shoulder. And it just so happened that the way that it rolled off, it didn't actually contact his shoulder and the ground. It didn't squish them. He walked away completely fine, just with he has a scar on the side of his head where he very nearly lost his arm working on this guy's Jeep.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I think the
no
truck
joke.
ran over him long ways. So
ooh. That's how Anton Yelchin died.
That
guy who was in the Star Trek reboot movies.
Sure.
He played Scotty.
Yeah.
Beam me up, fucker.
That's brutal, dude.
Speaking of fucking dying, there's so many musicians that have died in the last 2 days. The bass player for ZZ Top died, which is fucking horrible. But I'm not a ZZ Top fan. I don't know about you guys, so it doesn't bother me.
You got to respect what who they are and what they've done for as long as they have. But I don't really know that much about them. I'm not going to pretend to be devastated by the fact that their bass player died as far as their music is concerned. But it is sort of the death of a legend in a way, for sure. And not to mention the other death of a legend that we're dealing with this week.
Fucking Joey Jordison formerly from Slipknot and Murder Dolls fucking died yesterday in his sleep, apparently. And for those of you who don't know who the fuck I am, I've been listening to Slipknot since I was 10 years old. So that's going on 14, almost 15 years now. And I literally have a drum set I'm touching right now. I'm touching my drum set that I have because I play drums a little because of Joey. That is my all-time favorite drummer. And this is the second kid I've had. And growing up listening to Slipknot, it's those drums sound fucking awesome. I want to make it sound like the little blast beats he does and all that stuff. He's the fucking reason I play drums. And he just died at 45, 46 years old in his sleep. What the fuck?
That's insane, dude.
Yeah, it's tragic.
It makes you think about people that who are older than 45 or 46.
Yeah.
I was thinking about people I work with or my parents. My parents, out age him by 10 years. So it's freaky, dude. And not to mention, like we said, he's a legend. So many people were inspired to start playing music because of bands like Slipknot. Especially in the scene that I'm a part of. And I was never really a huge Slipknot fan. I didn't find out or really give them the time of day until way later. I skipped around in my phases for music a lot, but I didn't fall into the new metal phase until way after I was already into deathcore and metalcore. That it progressed past that, and then I went back and listened to those. I was like, damn, that shit is good.
Yeah.
It took me so fucking long to realize that Slipknot was a reference to a noose. Like, I am ashamed. I'm ashamed at how long it took. This was like within the last couple of years. I realized, oh yeah, they called it Slipknot because
Joey is why they changed their name to Slipknot, if I remember correctly, because he was in the band when they were called like the Faceless or the Nameless or something like that.
Yeah, the Faceless is a whole different band.
Yeah. Well, they might have had that. They have a song called The Nameless or Name. I don't remember. I should know.
Eyeless.
They have Eyeless as well.
Yeah.
Nameless might have been something else.
Yeah, for a long time, like the extent of my listening to Slipknot came down to like seeing mashups of Slipknot with like pop musicians or people doing Slipknot songs in different styles. But absolutely crazy. I mean, he was very well known for having just like an army of cymbals. Like, I remember watching drum playthroughs of his, and he had more cymbals than he had drums. Right. And it's just like a chainmail wall around him. And he did the drumming upside down in the box thing, which was crazy.
He's insane. Do you guys have a favorite Slipknot song?
I think Eyeless is my favorite Slipknot song.
God, I haven't, to be honest, I haven't listened to Slipknot in forever.
They released a track a couple of years ago that I thought was really, really good, and I can't remember the name of the track.
Be Prepared for Hell or We Are Not Your Kind?
No, The Devil and I.
Oh, The Devil and I. That's what I was thinking.
That's not it. That's not the one. That was a while ago.
That was after Joey left.
This song, I want to say this song was like 2 years old.
It might be We Are Not Your Kind then.
Hold on.
Because that's the name of their new record. I know too much about this. Slipknot is like my all-time favorite band. Like in 7th grade, I wore a Slipknot shirt almost every day. Even in my school photo, I'm wearing a Slipknot shirt. Just fucking badass group of like 8 or 9 dudes. Kicking the shit out of themselves.
No, that's not it. I remember very specifically what the video looked like, and I can't remember what the song was called.
What did the video look like? Because I probably know.
They were in like a rundown house, and there was, if I remember right, there was like some form of tentacle. Am I confusing? Is this a Korn song that I'm thinking of?
Maybe. You might be thinking of Devil and I, because they have a song like that in a rundown area. Very possible.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. I
can't pick a favorite song from them, but my favorite song from them with Joey's drumming is Vendetta, which is on their All Hope Is Gone album. And if you guys haven't heard that and you are a fan of drums, like the beginning of that song, it just gives me goosebumps every fucking time I hear it. That's my drumming noise.
I was 100% thinking of a Korn song. I apologize, Joey Jordison. I was thinking of Rotting in Vain.
Oh. Well,
banger. Absolute banger.
Yeah.
That was right around when that song released, which now, golly, 5 years ago? Oh, my God.
You're getting old, Thomas.
Oh, that was kind of like the first time I really started to pay attention to bands like Korn and Slipknot, and even like going to, Deftones and other similar like new metal bands that have been around for forever that I never really gave a shot, because I was never friends with the people who were super into those bands, you know? And all the people I knew whose favorite band was Slipknot were like, I did not want to hang out with them.
Their favorite band and their personality was Slipknot. That's how
it's the same. I mean, you get the same thing with bands like Slayer, dude. Like, you ever met a Slayer fan?
Oh, yeah.
Slayer fans are some of the most insane fans.
The first time I saw Slipknot, they were headlining Mayhem Fest, and it was As I Lay Dying, Motorhead, Slayer, and then Slipknot on the main stage. So I got to sit through all of that. I got to see Motorhead live. I don't even fucking like them, I only understood Ace of Spades because,
I love that song. I love that song
who
so
doesn't?
much.
Who fucking doesn't?
I mean, it's a banger.
Yeah.
It sounds like shit live because you couldn't understand them, but
Well,
there's, reasons for that.
also like bands like Gojira, who have also been around for forever. Absolutely insanely good.
Gojira is delicious.
Yeah, they dropped an album. I think they dropped the album earlier this year, if I'm not mistaken, and that shit was hard.
I saw them with Slipknot a couple years ago.
I wish I could have seen them. Like when people would tell me like, "Oh yeah, Gojira is coming," I'd be like, "Okay," and then like even within the last like 6 months, I've come to find out that they are absolutely fantastic. Great bands. I had such a narrow opinion of music for so long. Like I cool guyed my way through music most of my way through high school. And it was a bad decision. I wish I hadn't.
Yeah, in high school, I didn't talk to anybody. I just kind of played video games and all that and listened to Slipknot. They're coming to town in a few months, and I'm going to go see them again. So it'll be my 3rd time seeing them live.
I remember when Bring Me the Horizon covered Eyeless. Like that dropped Slipknot on my radar because Bring Me the Horizon was a band that I had already been listening to for a little while. And I that was when I was like, dang, Bring Me the Horizon's drummer is really good. And then I found out that song was a cover, and I was like, dang, Slipknot's drummer is really good.
Yeah, he was. And their new drummer is just as good. I won't say better because I can't bring myself to say that, but he's just as good as Joey was. His dad is the drummer for Bruce Springsteen's band or something like that. So it's a very weird, like, from Bruce Springsteen to Slipknot kind of like thing going on.
If it works, it works though, right?
Yeah.
Well, who was it? So Brian May, guitar guy from Jeff Dunham, his dad plays guitar for Marilyn Manson.
What?
I think.
What? Hold on.
No, not Brian May.
Wait, I was gonna say Brian May is Queen's guitarist.
No, it's Brian.
I know who you're talking about because his son is Sinister
Hayner.
Gates. His son is Sinister Gates.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
the guitar
that's
guy.
right. That's what it was. Yes.
Yeah.
His son is Sinister Gates, which is nuts.
Right?
Like
I was like, hold on, wait a minute.
He's Avenged Sevenfold, right?
Guitar guy. I remember that.
That's another band. That's a band that I never got into ever. Like, I never went through the Avenged Sevenfold phase, and then even after the fact, when I went back to listen to them, I still hated it.
Their songs are really fun to play on guitar.
I mean, that's fair. Like, it's, it was so, that's the same thing. Like Avenged Sevenfold fans, like that was their whole personality. Going back to, the callback from last week, things that people make their whole personality.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like alternative rock
Disney.
fans.
And then you got Tool fans.
No, we don't talk about that.
Tool is just Primus without a sense of humor.
Pretty much, yeah. That's I'd say that's pretty accurate.
I love Primus.
But, no, dude, Primus sucks.
I love Primus.
No, you know what sucks, but is actually really good? The fucking Twilight movies.
Oh my god, dude.
No. Hold up. But before you guys spoil anything, I've seen the first one and everything but the last 30 minutes of the second one.
I'm not going to spoil it for you, but like I did not like those movies when they came out because of how much everybody talked about them.
Right. The directing is so dog shit in the first one, it makes you want to keep watching. Like, this is just me being me, and I'm sure you guys might be able to understand, but there's a specific scene in the beginning of the first movie where it's like 30-second frame rate, 30 frames a second, switches over to a very crisp 60, back to like a jagged 30, and then it's 60 for like the rest of the movie. And that little bit,
you wouldn't have seen that back then when that movie came out. You would never have noticed.
And there's a tint to the whole fucking movie.
Oh yeah.
And I did not understand it. The acting was dog shit. Kristen Stewart has resting bitch face out the fucking ass, and Robert Pattinson trying to become this like jock vampire like Sparkle Boy is the most hilarious thing ever because he's such a good actor. His portrayal is so serious, and she's just like, I don't know if I want to do this, Edward.
Yeah,
I got
the whole movie looks like this.
Yes.
Yeah, pretty
Some
much.
version of that where
Yeah.
like it's got that super high contrast and all the like. If you don't watch it in perfect darkness, there's a lot of the movie that you just can't see.
Right.
But yeah, man, like when that movie came out, if you watched that in theaters, there's no fucking way you would have noticed the frame rate difference.
No.
Not on a big ass projector like that. And even on TVs back then, like you would have had to have the best TV on the market to have noticed that difference in frame rate.
This TV has Blu-ray in it, a brand new technology. I think it's about the time that no. Blu-ray might have came out when the first Twilight movie was out. Might have been the time it was still newer technology.
Blu-ray came out just before the PS3 came out.
Mm-hmm. And that was a big deal.
Yeah.
Because PS3 games were on Blu-ray disc.
I remember watching episode 4, 5, and 6 of Star Wars on Blu-ray, and I was like, wow, this shit's amazing. I forgot how good of a movie this is.
I remember my parents like having me bring my PlayStation into the living room so we could watch Blu-rays.
Oh, yeah.
Because our TV could handle it, but we just had like a normal DVD player. And this was back when Netflix would mail you movies.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
I remember those
Redbox.
days. Redbox still exists.
I don't know how.
Well,
PBS.
I mean, Redbox also puts out like movies that you can't find on streaming services for the people that don't know how to sail the seven seas.
Yeah, I suppose.
But Robbie, if you want to watch the Twilight movies, what you got to do is find the riff tracks versions of them. If you don't know riff tracks, they're the guys who originally did Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Oh, I don't know what that
but
is.
Instead of doing cheesy sci-fi movies, they go and do like all sorts of new movies. They did the whole Twilight series.
That's funny. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, we've just been watching them on Netflix.
I had a segue, completely forgot about it.
Sorry.
So speaking of sailing the seven seas, I saw a picture of the founder of the Pirate Bay. That guy looks exactly like what you'd expect he'd look like.
You need to provide us with this photo.
What's that?
Provide us with the photo.
Hold on, I'll get it for you. And for everybody who listens on audio, sorry, you're not going to know.
Yep, you should be watching the podcast because Tommy's background is one of the funniest things I've ever seen in my life, and you guys are missing out on it because you're not watching on YouTube. Instead, you're listening to us on Google fucking Podcast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iTunes, fucking Zoom, SoundCloud, all that fun shit.
The guy who runs the Pirate Bay, he looks like if Jesse Eisenberg and Shaggy from Scooby-Doo mashed into the same person.
Oh my god!
Like Matthew Lillard, Shaggy?
No, just the concept of Shaggy.
Oh dear Lord, he really
I've seen that photo before. He looks like Shaggy.
If you want, you can share it. I already have my screen occupied over here for sharing, but
yeah.
Just for our viewers, we can share the image.
What are you going to share with us, Tommy?
Well, that was a segue and a half, wasn't it? So here's the guy. Yes. This is the guy. This is the man, the myth, the legend behind Shaggy. The Pirate Bay. And he looks, like I said, he looks exactly like you'd expect.
With the anime girl drawings,
the green shirt and the brown pants he's Shaggy. He looks just like Shaggy. Look at the anime picture on the bottom left corner, like the drawing of the anime girl. Classic.
He's a weeb.
But yeah, so I went viral on TikTok this week for a stupid video about how much of a pain it is to clean your car out when you have ADHD. And that video, I posted it on Monday. And I posted it Sunday. And by yesterday around 4 or 5 o'clock, I had 1 million views, which like if I was going to pick something to crack 1 million, it would not have been that. Like I did not expect that was going to be the I did not expect that was going to be the one that really hit home for a bunch of people. But we have the TikTok here, in case our viewers are curious. This is what 1 million people were interested in. I don't know if it shows the view count here, but here we go. Hey, dude, why is your car always so dirty? Doesn't that bother you? Well, yeah, of course it bothers me, but it only bothers me when I'm actually driving, and that's when I really can't do anything to clean it. Well, why don't you just clean it later? Well, with my ADHD, when it's out of sight, it's out of mind. So when I'm inside my house, my car's not dirty. It doesn't exist. It kind of sounds like an excuse. Oh, absolutely. I'll clean it again in a couple of weeks when it's urgent because somebody has to get in my car, or I get interested and hyperfixated on a car detailing kick. And that was it. That's the one. 138,000 likes, 1,950 comments. And this number right here.
Hold on. I'm bringing it back up.
This number right here is 3,100 higher than it was on Sunday morning. There we go. 1.1 million views right yonder. So
it's impressive.
I mean, I suppose. I think I froze. I apologize, YouTube.
YouTube. Yo, the video to the right of that has 1, 2, 3, 4 views.
That was literally just me with a filter on. But yeah, so that's been kind of insane. It was crazy because like I would refresh my phone, like I would go and open TikTok, I'd go to my profile, and then open my notifications, of which there were generally, like every time I opened my phone, I had 99 TikTok notifications.
Wow.
And then I would go to notifications and tap back to my profile, and it would go up another 1,000 views, like just in the time that it took me to refresh. It was nuts. And I never imagined that I would have content that was popular enough that people argued in the comments over whether or not ADHD is really a thing. Like there are people out there who were genuinely like, yeah, you're just lazy. It's like, I'm not lazy. I'm a little bit lazy, but I'm not lazy that way. Like I have worked 40 hours a week since I turned 18. I'm not lazy. When I need to get shit done, I can get shit done. But the cognitive and developmental disorder that I have has affected my life in so many ways that I did not even realize until, like, I've learned more from TikTok than I ever learned from a doctor about ADHD. Like, hands down. And on the flip side of that, like, people are watching and being like, oh my God, I must have ADHD. It's like, just because you have one symptom or one associated characteristic of ADHD does not necessarily mean you have ADHD. And it also does not mean that because you have that associated characteristic that you can tell people that they're lazy because you figured out a way to overcome it. It's just, it was interesting to me, like there were so many people talking about how lazy people were, and then multiply that by 5 for how many people just like shat all over them in the comments, like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, it's the people on TikTok can be toxic, but I mean, I guess that's really, you could say that about anywhere.
Yeah,
any sort of internet forum.
It's funny still because every time I think about TikTok, like the word TikTok, I still think of Kesha.
TikTok on the clock.
I think of the crocodile from Peter Pan.
All right. Well, I think of Kesha, who is apparently doing great right now. I don't know if you guys have listened to anything Kesha's put out in the last 3 or 4 years. It's incredible. Like, she is incredible. All of her music that we heard when we were in high school that made us hate her is the music that a record label basically just made her put out. And it was tailored for marketability. Like that's the whole idea behind Kesha as a person, was a marketable pop star.
Yeah.
But her new music, like she sings her ass off, dude. It is like tragic to think that the majority of her career up until this point was full of that like weird, like party girl bullshit that had zero emotion or meaning behind it. And a lot of people were into that. Those were bangers back in the day. I have plenty of pop bullshit that I love that doesn't mean anything, but it's cool to see some of the pop stars getting redemption for the careers that their agents gave them.
Yeah, that's good, I guess. Good for her.
I would
Glad
encourage
she's
you
doing
to
all right.
take a listen.
I will discourage myself from doing that.
Even if it's just to listen to like this one note that she hits in praying, like it is unfathomably good. Even if it's not your vibe, you can't listen to that and be like, yeah, she sucks. You just can't do it.
Oh
People
yeah, no,
are gonna do
I've
that,
heard. I've heard some of her other stuff, like not recently, but some of the other stuff where it was not her regular music, and she's definitely a very talented pianist and vocalist as well.
You know who else can really sing their ass off that kind of got bubble gummed up was Meghan Trainor. Meghan Trainor every song I heard from her annoyed the piss out of me every time I heard it. And then when I heard her sing, it was just like a stripped down acoustic set. She was doing some covers, and she's really, really good.
Yeah.
It's just crazy, man. Like the difference between like what an artist is capable of and what an artist puts out based on, their demographic.
I don't even think it's their demographic. I think it's just, I feel like a lot of times they put out stupid shit as an ends to or a means to an end.
Well, so like with Meghan Trainor, All About That Bass was a song that she was trying to sell to different artists. Like her and her agent were shopping that song out to like, I want to say like Beyonce and Rihanna and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And no one wanted to buy it. So her agent was just like, fuck it, you go in there and just track the song. And then they released it and it blew up. So like, at that point you kind of fall into that, but that could be said for a lot of pop stars. I'm really kind of excited about the fact that pop music in general has become a more talent focused pool of content. Like there are a lot more pop musicians now that are tolerable to listen to for everyone, even the people who are not into pop music. Because they're real. Like the songs that are coming out from pop musicians now are a lot more real than they have been in the past.
Yeah.
I mean, this like may be an unpopular opinion too, but I feel like Billie Eilish in general, it does definitely put out some really good stuff, and it's not like it's pop. Yeah, it's pop, but it's different at the same time.
I think Billie Eilish, there was definitely a point with Billie Eilish where she kind of changed the game.
Yeah.
Because on one hand, like her first release, her first album won a Grammy for production, and it was produced by her brother in his bedroom.
Yeah.
And that kind of proved to the music industry that what can be done, that like, and the era of really expensive recording studios, and the only way that you're going to be able to get your music out there and be popular and get big is to go to a huge record label and sign your life away for it. That era is coming to an end in the same way that, unfortunately, buying music is coming to an end, with the advent of streaming music. But it is what it is. And Billie Eilish changed the game. I think she walked so artists like Olivia Rodrigo could run.
Speaking of streams, why don't people wash their fucking hands when they leave the bathroom or when they're doing anything? This is something I thought about all day today.
Why don't people wash their hands?
I've seen so many fucking people over the last couple months not wash their hands. Like after I go to shake someone's hand at work, there's just like, it's caked in dirt. And I'm like, why don't you wash your hands? Why do people like having dirty hands? I can't even do anything after touching money without having clean hands. If my hands are not clean, I will freak out.
That
What's
sounds
wrong
more
with
like
me
a
and
you
liking
problem,
hygiene?
bro.
No. I know people who don't wash their hands when they go to the fucking bathroom. You know who the fuck you are. Why? Why do people do that?
There's a difference between not washing your hands when you go to the bathroom and washing your hands after touching money, though.
No, not really. Money's
Yeah.
filthy, and so is a bathroom.
Money is made on paper that is antimicrobial. Like, money does not really transfer germs.
I don't believe that.
So, and the only reason I know this is because I had a customer come into my job one time who works for he worked in the government for, I want to say, the DA, but I'm not positive about that. He worked a government position with a security clearance, and when COVID first hit, everybody was kind of nervous about taking cash because of the transfer of the virus over surfaces. And they had an entire meeting and debriefing about the fact that money can't really transmit the virus because money itself does not harbor bacteria. The type of paper that it's printed on is antimicrobial, and they do that on purpose.
I refuse to believe that. There's no way money is not as dirty as a floor.
Well, let's take a quick Google and find out. Is money antimicrobial? New money has a proprietary antimicrobial substance in it, so they're less likely to support microbes. But it wears out over time, so the older the money is, the more likely that there are microbes on it. So it's both.
Both of these nuts.
That was low-hanging fruit, and I'm disappointed in you.
So are these nuts.
Like the nuts?
The nuts? Fucking Alex. The nuts got him. Haha.
Some came in the mail today.
I don't understand why people don't wash their fucking hands. Like, this has been bothering me. I noticed it a lot during when everything first happened. I'm like, you just took a shit, flushed the toilet, and walked out. Why? Why didn't I hear a sink? Why didn't you stay in there for an extra fucking 30 seconds and clean your nasty hands?
At least pretend you washed your hands, you know.
Not even pretend. You're just a dirty bitch if you don't do it. Like, it's simple.
I know, I'm personally more skeptical about the surfaces in a public bathroom than I would be.
I don't use public bathrooms.
Well, you can't read, so you wouldn't even know which one to go to.
That's true.
The symbols don't help. He doesn't understand them.
No, I read Braille.
He doesn't know what they're indicating. He doesn't know that a bathroom is there in the first place.
No, I just
Robbie
look
doesn't
at the
use
pictures
public
of people.
bathrooms because up until right now, he did not know that they were a thing.
True. This is exactly why I do not use public bathrooms and why I don't wash my hands and eat money for breakfast. So there we go.
Eating money for breakfast is literally what we do. We spend money to eat breakfast.
I don't eat breakfast.
You know, I think, but
sounds
kind of going
like a
back.
you problem.
I've gone so long without eating breakfast. It's just like, I don't want it.
That's fair. You know, kind of going back to the whole why don't people wash their hands thing, I think a lot of it has to do with convenience and time. And I mean, if you use a public restroom, fuck,
it's 30 seconds.
If you don't, wash your hands. They're gross.
If I have to use a public bathroom, I will sanitize my hands before and after I use the sink.
I have, in certain situations, I've washed my hands twice before leaving a restroom.
Same.
like I would wash my hands and then realize I left my phone sitting on a surface somewhere, or my keys fell out of my pocket and I had to grab them off the floor, and then I'll wash my hands a second time because.
Or you're in a sketchy bar in one of our many notorious downtown areas.
Yeah. Yeah, there are some places in our area where you would be better off not washing your hands.
You'd be better off just avoiding that whole area in general.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, touching the sink itself is bad enough.
Honestly.
So speaking of streams,
Steam?
The Steam Deck.
Steamed hams?
The Steam Deck has been officially announced. What do you guys think? And I know what at least Robbie thinks. So this is
I'll go
another
last.
peek behind the curtain. But like, I think that it's pretty cool conceptually. But what do you guys think?
You go first, Alex.
It doesn't have a 3090, so I really
And
shouldn't
neither
be
do
talking
you,
about
bitch.
Oh,
it. But I think in all honesty, I think it kind of fills in a good hole that the Nintendo Switch has left in the whole portable gaming market.
that's a good
Because
point.
the Switch, you're locked down to just Nintendo games.
One of the things that that made a huge difference to me, and I was informed later that this is not the first thing of its kind, but I did not know that. This becoming commercially successful, if it does, is going to open the door for so much more handheld PC options. Like apparently they're out there. I haven't seen what other handheld PC options look like, but the Switch, ridiculously successful to the point where it was like there was a shortage, and the concept of being able to take a gaming console that you can play on your television in the comfort of your own home and just literally pick it up and take the same game with you wherever you are going is huge. Now, if you take that concept and add the ability to play major AAA titles on PC that would normally be exclusive, if you were playing consoles, if you had PS4, you wouldn't be getting Microsoft exclusives that may release on PC, or vice versa. They'll do PC versions of PlayStation games that Xbox doesn't get. And the fact that you can play games that just generally wouldn't even be available on console portably is totally insane. And you can play them on a dock on your living room TV. One of the major reasons that I don't play games on my PC as much as a lot of people is that I hate playing video games on the screen the size of my computer monitor. I like playing games on a big screen. I like the immersion of the experience, and I like the vibe of like sitting in front of a TV and grinding through, a single player action RPG, which is essentially the only games that I ever played besides Binding of Isaac. So being able to take those types of games and put them on your TV is insane to me.
Don't they have like the Steam Link for that, basically?
Yeah, but there's, from what I've tried with Steam Link, because I believe there's also an iOS app for Steam Link. It's super laggy and it streams the games from your computer. You have to run the game on your computer and then stream it from your computer to the Steam Link and then play it through your TV. So there's a palpable and considerable lag. You can't play an FPS like that. You would die immediately.
Yeah.
So what I think about the Steam Deck, is that it's a waste of money, and if you buy one, you're stupid, and you've given Gabe Newell all of your fucking money.
I understand why you feel that way, because for what it is, it could be better.
It could be a million times better and cheaper.
For what it is, it could be so much better. But I think that Valve coming out with a device like that, if it works, like if people are like, oh yeah, this is badass, it's going to open the door for other companies to start doing something like, let's say, and this is my prediction. I think that the next manufacturer to do this is going to be either Razer or Corsair.
I thought Razer already had something like that.
They may. I don't know. Like I said, the Steam Deck is the first option like this that I'd ever heard of. But
the Razer Edge tablet. It's been out since 2013.
Yeah. So at this point, I didn't know about it.
Yeah.
Because Valve and Razer are completely, like, Valve is a whole different animal.
Yeah.
Razer makes gaming accessories. Valve has the platform that a good majority of gamers use to download their games.
It's Valve.
Yeah.
And so if Valve can do it with something that a lot of PC gamers may consider a shitty option as far as the specs go, a company like Razer or Corsair or Asus or even Samsung you know, or like a Galaxy or Google or Windows making portable gaming PCs specifically. Microsoft might be the next one to nick that idea.
What makes the
The
Steam
other one
Deck
will be
so?
Apple, because Apple's not doing anything for gaming.
It'll be $1 million. And
They got that. We talked a little
iPhone.
bit about their VR setup that I haven't heard anything about since we talked about it like 15 or 20 episodes ago.
I think what makes the Steam Deck unique is that it's integrated with Steam, and that's why people want it. They want to go through their whole library of Steam games at the stroke of a finger, and
right.
be
But
able to play Mass Effect or GTA 5 or whatever the hell else they want.
Oh yeah, but if you had, I'm not talking about specifically Steam integrating with the device. If you had a PC that's this big that you can take with you, that you can dock and plug into your plug into your TV at home, like that is, in my opinion, something that hasn't been done well enough, obviously, to have commercial success. But the concept behind it is huge. For the sake of gaming,
do that?
What's that?
You know what can do that? These nuts.
I doubt it, because if they could, then you probably would have already done it, and you'd have $1 million, and you wouldn't be wasting time with us fuckos.
If I had $1 million, I wouldn't be able to read it in the bank account, so I don't fucking know.
But yeah, like the ability to put the power of a gaming PC, and this may be far off. Like you're not going to get a 3090 in a handheld device. It's going to be a really long time, unless Apple actually steps up to the gaming world, because the M1 chips potentially, or the type of technology that the M1 chips in Apple are capable of running, that is majorly innovative, and that could be what changes the game as far as like handheld and mobile gaming, if Apple is willing, which they're not, to release a device that is accessible and attainable to the regular general population. They could potentially have like a huge thing on their hands. Even if you could run Steam on iPad, like that would be ridiculous.
God fucking this camera, man.
And the new iPads with the M1 chips are fully capable of processing that graphic ability and that technology and that processing power. Like they have the capability of doing it. People were pissed when they found out the new iPads would not support Logic Pro or Final Cut Pro or any of the media processing options that Mac computers have, even though the MacBooks that are coming out right now and the iPads that are coming out right now have the exact same processor chip in them.
Yeah.
So the capabilities there, like it is possible to have that level of power in a device this big.
Possible. If Apple does it, it'll be $1 million. I kind of had this realization today. The reason everybody has a MacBook, an iPad, an iPhone, and all these like Apple products is they're all linked into one ecosystem, and it's the ease of access to everything. You can pull up your text messages on your iPad, check it on your watch, and then go over to your computer and keep texting with your AirPods, and they're just switching from device to device.
And it even integrates using non-Apple products. I do this all the time, where I will take photos on my phone, or I do digital art. So when I want to put digital art onto my PC, I literally just upload it to my iCloud drive and download it from my iCloud drive onto my PC. And it takes minutes.
Yeah.
Like I don't have to connect anything to anything. I don't have to worry about how slow or how horribly bad the storage capacity on Dropbox is when you're talking about cloud storage. I pay like $1 a month for 2 terabytes of online cloud storage with iCloud. And Dropbox is like $15 a month to have 500 gigs.
That's crazy.
It is absolutely, Apple I've always maintained is dumbass compatible, and it makes it so you could do big stuff without having to know a lot about computers or technology.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair though, Windows is kind of getting there. Like they had the whole Your Phone app, which you can use to look at notifications, messages, photos, apps, calls, and even make text messages from the app on Windows from your phone. So they're working on it. They're starting to integrate that system together as well. Is it as clean and as nice as Apple's? No, but for
Well,
the
I think
price
part of that has to
difference,
do with the fact that Apple is so exclusive to itself.
yeah,
Apple is so up its own ass that it's not difficult to create an ecosystem like that. Whereas with Windows, a lot of it is more focused on user customization and variety. Like the fact that every single Windows computer out there has an entirely different setup and an entirely different configuration makes it so that having a very simple to use integrated ecosystem for Windows is pretty difficult compared to Apple runs versions of the same software for every device that they have. And like they have even when you consider text messaging, Apple, like I know that I would rather message certain friends of mine on Facebook than text message them because I would prefer to like I text message people who have iMessage.
yeah,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And iMessage syncs to every single Apple device I own. So like it's almost hard to have that seamless design without being so closed off and again up your own ass like Apple is.
Very true. Very true.
yeah. That's fair.
Especially
What?
with how prevalent Apple devices are.
Mm. Reddit question.
Yeah,
Reddit
we
question.
can go for Reddit question.
Boom. If you could pick one thing to remove from existence to make everyone uncomfortable, what would you choose?
I have an answer if you guys don't.
I have a tentative answer.
Alex?
So I guess if I wanted to make everyone uncomfortable, I think the best thing to remove would be the wheel. Just the wheel. Imagine how uncomfortable your life would be without wheels.
Dang, that is better than mine. That I was gonna say foam.
Foam? Yeah.
Foam in any form or fashion.
Foam's definitely important, but you can use foam to fix a wheel.
I'm going to say carpet.
No.
Yeah.
I fucking hate carpet.
You ever get in your car, realize there's no carpet in there?
I would rather have foam.
You don't get foam or carpet in your car.
I would rather have foam floors in my car.
That's fine. We'll just have a shag rug.
I would rather tile my car.
That'll be very horrible.
Just go in there and spray the shit down.
Your car
Yeah,
will
that's
be
like
so loud and echoey
A
too.
little drain plug. No, not if you line it with foam.
Well, you're
You put tile in there, it's like a frag grenade when you get into an
Your
accident.
car,
Right.
would
Just
be,
shrapnel.
your car would be immensely loud with carpet if you didn't have foam underneath the floorboards to eliminate road noise.
yeah, but without carpet, you'd just be stepping on all the tin the whole time, or the metal.
Not if you had foam floors.
Well, if you had foam floors, you'd be kind of squishing around a little bit, a little unsafe,
Yeah, it'd
wouldn't
be
it be?
way significantly more
that's more
comfortable than
comfy.
scratchy
But
ass
wouldn't it be
interior
unsafe? The carpet
Do
is
shoes
not
have
scratching.
memory foam or memory carpet, Robbie?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Mine don't have either. Mine are rubber.
Which is
Another
Are they
thing that would
rubber?
be really, really inconvenient.
If you lived in an apartment and there was no carpet anywhere, it'd be so much louder than if there was carpet in some places.
That's fair.
that's fair.
That's fair. And it would be a significantly more of a pain in the ass to add foam to reduce the noise. Like if we're going based on noise as being the major reason, having like foam insulation between floors would be significantly harder than just adding carpet to it. But yeah, no, like if someone said, "Oh yeah, your car comes with, the option to have interior carpet or you can pay an extra $100 a month to have tile." You best believe I would have tile in my car.
Well, maybe if you clean your carpet in your car, you wouldn't hate it so much, Tommy.
Well,
But it
I'll
doesn't
tell you what,
exist.
I can clean carpet with a $5 spray bottle of cleaner. But to clean carpet, did I just say I can clean
Yep.
carpet?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I can clean
Yeah,
tile with a $5 bottle of cleaner. I can clean carpet with a $5 bottle of cleaner and an extractor vacuum and a drill brush and a fucking whole litany of things. And I understand why this is important to you, Robbie.
You don't need that. You don't need all
I
that to clean
understand why
carpet.
this is important to you, Robbie, because carpet's been a big part of your life.
And I fucking hate it. I want it gone. I want it gone.
That's what I'm saying. I would rather eliminate carpet from my life entirely than most other materials. Here's a good one. Paved roads.
Well, if you lose the wheel, you won't have paved roads.
What's that?
Me?
Alex?
Good, Robbie.
Someone. One of us speak.
if you don't have wheels, you won't have paved roads.
Well, that's not necessarily true. They would just take way longer.
How would they pave the road without a wheel, and how would they flatten it out? Stamping it like they do concrete?
Yeah, they'd have to stamp it, yeah.
That'd be a pain in the dick.
It would be a pain in the dick. I feel like if you removed the wheel from common society and the entire concept of the wheel from common society, it wouldn't be that long before we figured it out again.
The square. Revolutionary. From Apple.
Like, it would not be that long before. Now, if you consider the idea, like the mechanical concept of a wheel, not just like wheels for your cars, but the mechanical concept of the wheel, so much shit would not exist.
Oh yeah, you'd use things like dodecagons or just some really high count polygon.
Well, not even just that, but like consider the fact that air conditioning would not work. Your computer would not work. Let's see. Any kind of pulley system would not work anymore.
Yeah.
You know,
no more
sliding drawers or sliding glass doors would not work.
It's super inconvenient, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. That is a really good answer.
You don't think about that, how much our society depends on the fact that the wheel exists, do you?
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Headphones. That doesn't
bother you at all, though.
Well, I don't like wearing over-the-ear headphones. And when
like
I'm listening to music, I like to block everything out. But when when I'm like talking, I hate hearing myself inside my head. Like it makes me feel claustrophobic. So that's why I don't like to wear headphones when we're podcasting.
Open back saved my life.
Yeah, even then, like physically, the feeling of having headphones cover my ears is not a fun.
I would remove chairs.
Oof.
Chairs or anything to sit on.
You know how in shape America would be without chairs?
Escalators and elevators, bro.
Ooh.
I feel like that would be a service to humanity to remove escalators and elevators.
Yeah.
Like, well, at least American humanity.
Well, you'd have to have like people with disabilities would have to have like a special access card to use them.
No, they get that one thing that goes up the handrail. You know what I'm talking about? What's it called?
What is
that uses the wheel, doesn't it?
Yeah, those things really drive me up the wall.
Tommy, get out. Go.
We
don't want you here anymore.
Take your liquid death and fuck off.
Hey, like I said, I think I talked about it last week, but there's nothing different about liquid death water compared with other water, except for the fact that you feel way cooler drinking out of that cool ass can.
This is true. I feel cool drinking out of it.
I did not want to be enraptured by their marketing, but I saw it in the store, and it was the first time I ever saw it where I didn't have to order it, and I bought it, and I was like, this is just water, but it makes me feel cool for hydrating.
I almost bought some at Target last week, and I was like, no.
They got it at Target now?
Oh, yeah, they got a whole fucking wall of liquid death there.
Okay, well,
Oh,
that's
wow.
going to be it because I've only ever seen it sold in individual cans. But if I can buy cases of
Mhm.
it, it's not that expensive either.
I don't know if it was a case. I just know it was there.
I thought it was way more expensive than regular like bottled water, but it's really not. Like it is less expensive than buying something like Fiji.
Fiji's good though. I know Liquid Death is good too, but I like Fiji a little more.
Yeah, it's less expensive than buying Fiji or Smart Water or Voss. You know,
Oh,
if you had to compare any like commonly purchased luxury water, which is a fucked up thing to even have luxury. We have luxury water, and there are places where you just can't get water. If you were to compare any common luxury water brand to Liquid Death, I would say that most of the time Liquid Death is actually cheaper, which I was not expecting. Like I thought it was going to be hella expensive to buy it, and it's like I think I got them like 2 for $2.50 at the gas station,
It's not too bad.
and the 7-Eleven brand of sparkling water that they sell is only like 28 cents cheaper to buy 2 for $2.22. So, and it's the same amount, it's the same 16 ounces. Like I thought it was way more expensive than it was, but when you buy it by the case, it's less than $1 per can. And I genuinely have lost a lot of the reason why I thought it was a stupid idea since the last time that I really had an opinion on it.
well,
That's
that was water talk.
again.
Sorry for bringing that up. I will not trigger you with Liquid Death anymore.
Yeah,
I
you can't
promise.
set me off like that, man. You set me up for I don't know if that was failure. If we did get a sponsor from Liquid Death, that would have been the perfect spot right there.
Honestly, we could all just sip, 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 sip.
That's what we need to do. We need to clip this section of the episode and reapply for the Liquid Death sponsor with that clip.
Yes.
I'm down.
We need to get a sponsor soon. We'll do that eventually.
Hey, if you
Yeah.
have a company and you watch this, sponsor our podcast.
Yeah, pay us fucking money to promote your shit. I promise people will buy it.
We'll say nice things.
Yeah,
At
and
the very least, we'll say nice things. Yeah.
If you pay us, we'll say nice things. If not, then it's like, sorry. Money talks, bullshit walks.
If you don't pay us, we'll say objective things.
Maybe like I guess it's good. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Never
I mean,
tried
it's water.
It's you got Dasani and Liquid Death. Kind of 50-50 there. Insult them a little.
I'd rather drink sand than drink Dasani.
I'd rather eat glass than drink Dasani.
How do you drink sand?
I don't know.
drink
Is sand
a
a
solid?
liquid or a solid?
What?
Sand is a fluid.
No.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's non-compressible.
Depends what kind of sand it is.
Water is
It
non-compressible and
form
it's a
to the shape
fluid.
of its container under its own gravity.
Water is non-compressible and it's a fluid.
That's true. Water is non-compressible, but sand does not. Like I said, the sand does not conform to the shape of its container under
Yeah, it
gravity.
does. Yeah, it
Because when you
does.
think of sand references a group of many solids. It's a similar concept, but on a smaller scale to the idea that you could dive into a pile of gold coins and not actually just break your spine.
I'm just curious, is sand a fluid? Now I have to know.
What's Jell-O?
Jello, I don't know.
Is Jell-O a solid or a liquid?
It's a solid. It starts out as
kind of a middle ground.
But
it's not a non-Newtonian
What about
fluid.
Jell-O in its final form?
This isn't even my final form.
Makes it
I think
a
Jello
solid in the same way that you could consider ice a solid.
would Jello just be a extremely viscous fluid?
Well, no, because it doesn't. Like if you break it apart and put two pieces of Jell-O back next to each other, they don't reform. And Jell-O in its set configuration does not also conform to the shape of its container. It will stay a cube no matter what shape container you put it in.
If you like learning about snacks and their technicalities, tune in next week for us talking about pudding and maple syrup.
Yay,
Maple syrup's
pudding.
a liquid. Pudding is not a liquid. I told you can't fucking set me off, dude. It's time to end the episode.
You ever heat up pudding because then it gets kind of liquidy.
Well, yeah, that's what melting is, bro.
But then is it a liquid?
Everything's
if
a
you heat it up
liquid with
until
enough
it
heat.
melts, yes.
Well, if you heat up sand, it doesn't turn into a liquid, it turns into glass, doesn't it?
Yeah, and
Yeah, but
glass
it's
at that
liquid.
temperature is a liquid.
But it's thick liquid,
It's viscous.
just like thick water, which we all need to try. We all need to get a thing of thick water and try it on an episode.
Wait,
What?
thick water?
You ever seen thick water? It's meant for people that have trouble swallowing, I think.
Oh, yes, I have seen that.
Yeah, it's-
oh,
I
I
have
hear it
never
tastes
heard of this. All
absolutely
right, that's
disgusting.
That's gonna be our our taste test episode.
Yeah. Well,
We're gonna
we'll
have to
do a
come up
taste
with like
test
a bunch
episode.
of stuff to taste test on an episode.
And we'll do it in person
Yes.
Oh, yeah, we should.
because we can do that
yes, we can.
because we're men.
Hell yeah. Hey, that's sexist, Robbie.
That is not sexist. That is a fact.
We could
are all
also
men.
still do that if we were women
True.
There
or
we go.
persons of a non-binary gender.
Or maybe not even persons.
True. If we were dogs, cats, and aliens,
Dogs can taste test. Yes.
so can cats.
We're devolving. We're falling apart
Funny-
right now.
If we're
Funny
if we're turning into
story of-
cats, we're devolving.
My dog
Episode
earlier,
30. We made it.
we did
It's
it.
all downhill
Dirty
from here.
30.
Tell your dog story, Alex.
Oh, okay. So my fiance gave our dog a frozen tater tot, and our dog did not chew it; just swallowed it whole. Swallowed. Now our dog is a little like
Your dog
Chihuahua
is a tater tot,
Dachshund
dude.
mix, right? She swallowed it whole, vomited it back up, and then went back for seconds.
That's how I eat. Why is that funny? That's how I eat all my food.
Well, that's not surprising considering you can't read.
True. I didn't know it said chew.
Yeah, or cook even. That's why most of your meals are raw.
No, cook is a hard word for me to read. I have to sound it out for about a minute.
Cock.
Quack, cock, quack. Okay,
Quack.
we're gonna fuck off now because this is people are probably annoyed by this by now. Comment fuck Tommy, rate us on all the podcast shit. Follow Tommy on Twitch so he can play Binding of Isaac. You can watch him. Follow Alex on Twitch so he can play GTFO and you can watch him.
Watch my TikTok to get me
watch his
more
TikTok.
and more serotonin.
Get Tommy in a TikTok compilation and make his ego go through the fucking roof because we all need that. I'm doing this, by the way. I know it looked weird, but I'm doing this.
Fucking bye, y'all.
Fucking dirty 30, motherfucker.
Bye.